Good day, all Bridge stakeholders. We've decided to add this video to our regular communication with all Bridge investors and stakeholders so that the message is as clear as possible and so that the team can share both the contents of and the insights into the plan on which we will be asking creditors to vote on. The full document will be available electronically and all stakeholders can retrieve this in the same process as we have been following over the past few months. Our lines of communication are open as always. You are welcome to email or call us through the normal channels. We'll also be including the contact details of all the speakers in this video in our email attachment. These speakers have agreed to be available during the next week to respond to questions or queries.
We have been through a legal process over the last few weeks in order not only to oppose the application for liquidation, but to develop our proposal for a compromise plan which the attorneys will be placing before the Gauteng North High Court on behalf of the creditors and employees of Bridge. But our legal journey does not start there. As you all know, we have been in business rescue since September 2014. This has not been a great experience for any of us. I don't think that any of us could have foreseen the complexity and the difficulties we have had over the last 10 to 11 months, all to end up with an application by the business rescue practitioner for the liquidation of Bridge. We are not ready to give up on Bridge and our investment in Bridge, and will therefore do whatever we need to in order to avoid a liquidation and all that comes with such a drastic step. We have drawn up a timeline slide for you to see the legal process and where we are now, but I would like to tell you about what will happen over the next week or two.
A debenture is a bond-type agreement that is not secured by any specific property or collateral. Debentures are backed by full faith and credit on the issue, which is, in this case, Bridge. We have trusted Bridge with our investment money, and they made a promise to pay us certain returns on this in the form of interest. The way in which they could do this is to have a loan book which provides that return. The problem is that the loan book is now worth less than the total debentures, and as Bridge paid out the interest, they did not make enough money to cover that as well as the company's expenses. Share is also a certificate which gives the shareholder a part of the business and entitles the holder to a proportion of the profits. This is different in that normally for debenture, the promise of interest and repayments of the money which was given is fixed on the contract, whereas for shares, the payout is dependent on how much profit the company makes. Part of the profits is or can then be distributed to the shareholders.
The agreement with regards to the SPV is that a trust will be formed and that all debenture holders, or then as we will be called in the future, preference shareholders, plus the minority shareholders, will be beneficiaries of this trust. We made an agreement that the voting rights of the preference shareholders, now these are those of us who are debenture holders today, will remain at 50% until such time that at least 50% of our capital has been paid back. This means that even as the preference shares are bought back every year, our voting rights do not change. We've also proposed to engage Andre Prakke to continue with the good work he is doing, both in the audits he conducts and in setting right many of the governance and compliance aspects include Frans Badenhorst for a period of 4 months, just to check and make sure that everything happens as it was planned and as it's promised. This is extremely important for the creditors or soon to be preference shareholders.
On 1 September, through Sybrand Tintinger, our attorney and the senior counsel who will represent us in court, we will oppose the liquidation and also present what is called a Section 155 compromise plan. We initially considered the option of going with the adjustments to the business rescue plan as our defence. In consultation with various attorneys, we came to the conclusion that a Section 155 compromise is our best option to avoid a total legal liquidation.
I can only hope that we will be successful, both in our court case and also in rebuilding Bridge.
Legal point of view, this plan is to address 5 elements to be considered successful in court. These are solvency of the company, the NCR case against Bridge, our plans for the future, including repayment of the capital you have invested in Bridge, our views on the business rescue actions to date, and how we want to go forward and why we believe that this way forward will be more successful than what has been attempted over the last 10 months. This plan has been discussed, debated and drawn up after deliberations between various role players. These include the creditors committee, management, employees as well as shareholders. It is very much a collaborative effort and not just a numerical plan drawn up by an accountant. I would also like to say that our discussion and plan includes both Bridge and its subsidiaries and OneCore as a group.
I've spent the last few months working very closely with the team, including the business rescue practitioner. I've seen lots and lots and lots of frustration, and I've also, like you, felt the effect on my personal finances. But regardless of all of this, I can see why everyone still likes the Bridge model and why it can work. With the right people on board, the right people making the operations work, I believe we can only do so much better.
Ek hoop die span het alle vrae wat u mag hê beantwoord. U kan enige van die sprekers direk kontak binne die volgende week of soos altyd is ons by Investor Relations beskikbaar vir enige vrae. Ons sal alle vrae eerlik en openhartig beantwoord tot die beste van ons vermoë.